Is the screen visible, students?
Yes, sir.
Right. We had stopped at the description of the counters and we were discussing about the up counters, right? And in the up counters, and we have three types of counters as we described in the last class. The first type of counters is the count up counter, which increments the accumulated value at each false to true transition. Whenever there is false to true transition of the input signal, there is counting up process. The counting up process takes place whenever there is false to true transition. That is, whenever the input signal goes from low to high, that time the counter will start to count in the upward direction. And as it counts in the upward direction, if there is any power supply off, if there is power supply off, then the value that is accumulated, that will be stored. It does not reset to zero. Even after the power supply is off, the value in the accumulator remains the same. It will not become zero. Whatever count value was there, that will remain. Similarly, for the countdown counter, whenever the input signal goes from low to high, it will count in the downward direction. It will count in the downward direction. Say it is starting from 10, it counts downwards: 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Right? It is the called as the down counter. Suppose in between it is counting, if there is a power supply off, power supply goes, then whatever accumulated value was there, that will remain. It will not become zero. Then there are certain counters called as high speed counters. High speed counters are the counters in which the counting process is very fast. The counting process takes place at a high speed. Such types of counters are called as high speed counters. That is, when the input signal is applied, at a faster rate, at a faster speed, input pulses, to count such pulses, to count such fast occurring events, the high speed counters are used. There are three types of counters: counter up, counter down, and high speed counters. Okay. Next, we will see a PLC counter program used to stop the motor running after 10 operations. After 10 operations of the counter, the motor will stop. We'll go through that program. The figure 1 shows a PLC counter program used to stop a motor after 10 operations. The operation of the program is like this. Let us analyze the working of the program. This is how it is. We have written a program here. This is a program for counting 10, and after 10 counts, the motor is stopped. For that, this is the program that is written. That is a ladder logic program which is written. Here the stop switch is, it is already closed, normally closed. So it is, stop is normally closed, right? Then start button, it is open. When we press it, it becomes closed. So start condition becomes true. Examine if closed, this becomes true. Then when stop is true, start is true, then C5 colon 0 slash DN bit. C5 colon 0 slash DN bit. This is for the up counter. Okay. So here when the down counter, when the up counter done bit is 0, right? Initially it will start to count, and as it counts from 0 to 10, accumulated value is 0, preset value is 10. It will count from 0 to 10, right? Then as it counts 10, then only dn bit, done bit will become high. Otherwise done bit will be 0 initially. So as a done bit is 0 initially, this is examine if open, so it becomes true. It is examine if open contact, okay, instruction. So this becomes true for done bit 0. That means stop bit is true, start bit is true, C5 colon 0 slash DN bit is true, the motor will start. The motor coil is energized, the motor will start. As the motor starts here, the motor contacts are closed. The motor contacts are closed. And when motor contacts are closed, this rung becomes high, second rung. When the second rung becomes high, it goes from low to high. It is becoming high. As it is becoming high, the counter up counter will start to count. the CU bit is enabled, up counter bit is enabled, CU bit, and the up counter will start to count. It will count from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up till 10, up till 10 operations of the up counter. As it counts up till 10, done bit will become high. DN bit will be equal to 1. As DN bit becomes equal to 1, that time this done bit is 1 now. C5:0/DN bit is 1. When it is enabled, when it is activated, if it is 0, because it is examine if open, it becomes true when this is 0, when this bit is 0, done bit is 0. But now done bit is high. As done bit is high, this is disabled. That means it is deactivated. It is de-energized. As it is de-energized, it becomes false, and the rung becomes false, and the motor is de-energized. Motor coil is de-energized. The motor will stop running. The motor which is connected at the output will stop running. Like this, the counter will count from 0 to 10. After 10 counts, the motor will stop. After 10 counts, the motor will stop. Okay. We have 3 switches here. One is the stop switch. So stop switch is indicated by a red lamp. Start switch is indicated by green lamp, and reset switch is indicated by the blue colored lamp. If we want to reset this counter, up counter, we have to use the reset instruction. That is, this when reset contacts are closed, when we press this reset switch here, it becomes closed. Examine if closed becomes true, the rung becomes true, and the coil is energized. Reset coil is energized. Note that this reset coil has the same, that is, address as that of the done bit here, C5:0/DN, C5:0/DN. Right? And the C5:0 here also, the up counter address. So when this reset is energized, right, when it becomes true, when it is high, that time whatever count value is there in this up counter, that will become 0. Suppose if it is counting 0 to 5, if you press the reset switch, then what will happen? Whatever count was there 5, the accumulated value, that will become 0. This is how after counting 10 operations, the motor is going to stop. This is a PLC counter program, ladder logic program, used to stop a motor from running after 10 operations. Okay. I hope this program is clear to everyone. Is this program clear to everyone, students? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Program is clear? Okay, fine. In examination, the probable question on this may be, write a ladder logic program for the PLC counter program to stop a motor from running after 10 operations. This will be the possible question that may be asked in the examination. So they will ask in the form of write a ladder logic program. Okay, it is not like drawing the ladder logic program. It is a program. It is write a ladder logic program for the PLC counter program to stop a motor from running after 10 operations. Like this they will ask in the examination. Figure 2 shows a PLC CAN counting program that uses 3 up counters. In the next figure, we are seeing one more program, ladder logic program for the PLC CAN counting process. Let us see that. The operation of the program is summarized like this. Let us go through the program. This is the program which is written for the CAN counting operation. These are the cans, right? These are the cans, and this is a sensor. What you are seeing here, this is a sensor. As the can comes nearer the sensor, proximity switch. This is a proximity switch. Based on the nearness, based on the distance, the proximity switch is activated. The proximity switch is enabled. So when this proximity switch closes, proximity switch when it closes, so this proximity switch is closed now. Correct? This proximity switch is closed. It is a examine if closed instruction. This up counter starts to count. Up counter starts to count. Okay. Then the same rung is connected to the parallel branch here. Parallel branch, that is C5:2. One more up counter. This also starts to count parallelly along with the first counter. Yes. As it counts here, then what will happen? As the first counter, this upmost counter, when its count becomes 10, that is accumulated value, when it becomes equal to the preset value, right? That time the done bit will be energized. Sorry, it will be set. Done bit will be set. As done bit becomes equal to 1, C5:1, Then here C5:1/dn. This is one. Examine if closed will become true. This is examine if closed. This becomes true, right? And the rung becomes true. Now, as it is counting 10 cans. So these are what? These are the cans or the tins, right? As it is making 10 counts of the cans, that means there are 10 cans coming into the conveyor belt, right? Then what will happen after it counts 10? It is initiating a process to close the box. As the cans come and they gather, they become collectively 10 cans or 10 tins, right? They are enclosed in a box. So the box filling or the box closing operation will commence. It will start. As we energize this C5:1/dn, the box closing operation will start. It will start. Okay. As the box closing operation will start, so the same C5:1/dn is also connected to. It is also connected to C5:1, that is reset instruction, reset coil. This is also energized. That means the C5:1, this one, first counter, its accumulated value becomes 0, so that it will start to count for the next round of operation. To start counting the cans for the next round of operation. Now this has not become 0, so this is accumulated. Whatever 10 counts is there is accumulated. Next time when it's counting from 0, 1 like this, this will go from 10 to 11. When it counts from 1 to 2, this will go from 11 to 12. Right? The second counter. Yes. Now the box closing is initiated here. So when the box closing is initiated, B3:1, the contacts becomes closed here. So we are using the coil at the output side and the contacts at the input side. This we have studied in our previous classes. Yes. So the contacts become closed here at the input side. As the contacts are closed because of the coil being energized, the up counter, the third up counter will start to count. And this third up counter is for counting the number of packages, the number of boxes, how many boxes are coming out of the process. So to count that, we are using the third counter. And when this count reaches from 0 to 300, that means maximum it can count up till 300 boxes, 300 packages, right? As it counts from 0 to 300, then the done bit will become high, dn bit. Then as the done bit becomes high, then reset pb. Suppose if you want to start the next round of operation, we have to press the reset switch, reset push button, right? This is the second one, switch, reset push button. When it is pressed, this done bit becomes high. Then as it becomes high, this is connected to the coil, reset C5:2. C5:2 is the second counter. So this C5:2, this accumulated value in this will become 0. Whatever is the accumulated value, that becomes 0. Then C5:3, in this third counter also, whatever is the accumulated value is there, that will become 0 because of the reset instruction. Right? This is how, this is the ladder logic program we have written for the can counting process. The can counting process is shown here in this figure, right? So for this can counting process, this is the program that is being written. The question may be again the straightforward, write the ladder logic program for the can counting process on the conveyor belt. This may be the possible question in the examination. Any difficulty here, students, in this program? I hope everybody understood this, the second program. Is it clear, students, here? Any questions? Any doubts here? On this program, any doubts? Any questions, students? Is it understood, this program? Students?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. We'll go to the next one. The next topic is one-shot instruction. Here, one-shot is nothing but it is a generation of a pulse. One pulse, rectangular signal, one rectangular pulse is being generated. That is what is called as a one-shot instruction. Now, when this instruction is activated, it is going to remain activated for one program rung becoming true. That means when the program rung becomes true for only one time, for only one scan time, for only one program scan time, this instruction, one-shot instruction is going to remain high. Okay, let us see this instruction. The next figure shows the program for a one-shot or transitional contact circuit. One-shot instruction is also called transitional circuit or contact circuit. Transitional circuit or contact circuit or one-shot instruction, all are one and the same. That is, which is often used to automatically clear or reset a counter. This one-shot instruction is used to automatically clear or resetting the counter. Resetting the counter, we know by now what is meant by resetting or clearing the counter. Resetting means whatever is the accumulated value in the counter, that it will become 0. This we call as resetting the counter or clearing the counter. Clearing or resetting means making the accumulated value, whatever is the value in the accumulator, that is made equal to 0. This is the process what we call as the resetting or clearing. This one-shot instruction will automatically clear or reset a counter. Now the difference between the normal reset instruction that we have used up till now and this one-shot instruction is that here this one-shot instruction will remain, one point is that it will remain for only one program scan time, activated for only one program scan time. Even if the input triggering input event is activated, the one-shot instruction is going to remain activated only for one program scan time. Right? That is the first difference. The second difference between one-shot instruction and the previous reset instruction that we have used is that in the previous reset instruction, we are using a separate reset instruction, as we have seen in this program, the previous program. This is the reset instruction. We are using separately. But this one-shot instructions are the instructions which we are using along with the other instructions. Along with the other instructions. So these are the two differences between one-shot instruction and the reset instructions which we have studied up till now. The program is designed to generate an output pulse that when triggered goes on for the duration of only one program scan time, and then it will become off. The instruction, when it is activated, it will remain activated for only one program scan time, only for one program scan time duration, not after that. Okay, after the one program scan time duration, it will automatically become off. The one shot is triggered by the leading edge. One shot instruction is activated by the off to on transition of the input signal. When there is off to on transition of the pulse of the rectangular signal, that time the one shot instruction is triggered or it is activated. It stays on for one scan time and it will go off. It stays off until the trigger goes off and then comes on again. That means until you are applying the trigger, even if you are keeping the trigger also, it will not remain on. It will remain on only for one scan time of the program, and then even if the trigger is remaining, it will go off. It will not remain in the on state, the one-shot instruction. This is the small PLC program for the one-shot instruction. Basically, students, you all have to understand the function of each rung. What they expect in the examination is the function of each rung in the ladder logic program. You have to explain that what is the first rung, when it will get activated, right? When it becomes true, which are the coils that are energized, right? When switch is pressed, which coils are energized, which contacts are energized. Okay, and what is seal in? It will seal in the current even after the switch is released. So all these points you will have to explain for each rung. This is what they expect in the examination. Okay, basically, say when they ask the ladder programs in the examination, so most of the programs that are in this subject, they are ladder logic programs only, and basically they concentrate on the PLC programs, PLC ladder logic programs, right? In very few question papers they have asked the relay type instructions, but mainly they concentrate on the PLC ladder logic programs. Okay, that is rung program to be written. And we have, when you all are writing the program, after you write a program, you have to explain each rung. What is the function of the first rung? What it will do? What is the function of the second rung? Okay, then what is the function of the last rung? If there is any reset instruction, what it will do? Right, all these points you will have to explain for the ladder logic program that you are going to write. So definitely PLC programs will be asked in the examination. because the subject is mainly focusing on the PLC ladder logic program. Okay, so PLC programs are definitely to occur in the examination. Okay, so please make them perfect. What all are the PLC ladder programs or the relay ladder programs? Please make them perfect. This is the input switch. This is the input switch. When we press this input switch A, here, because of the pressing of the input switch, then this contact is energized. Examine if closed. This becomes true, right? As this trigger input becomes true here, so this trigger input A, this also becomes true, right? But here, when trigger input A becomes true, this is examine if open. Okay, let us assume that it is in open state initially. As it is open and this contact A is true, and when this internal relay contact, this is also true, this one shot output or the coil is energized. Okay, so it will go from low to high. Go from low to high. This one shot output instruction output, this energized, this coil will be energized, and as it is energized, it will go from low to high. Now this contact is also energized. This is also related to input switch A only. So this is also energized. This is also energized. Fine. So as it is energized, so this is going to make this rung true, the second rung, and the internal relay coil, this is energized. So when this is energized, this is becoming 1, and this relay contact, this is examine if, which instruction is this? Examine if open or examine if closed? This one. Yes, anybody? Is examine if open or examine if closed? Yes, please.
Close, sir.
It is?
Examine if open, sir.
Yes, excellent. Examine if open instruction. So this is becoming 1 now. Internal relay coil is 1. This is energized. So when this is 1, so what will happen here? This is energized when it is 0, but it is becoming 1. So this will become off now. This is false, right? When this is false, this rung becomes false, and now one shot output will go from 1 to 0. It is de-energized. The relay coil is de-energized. The one shot output will go from high to low. Okay, so what is generated here when the one shot output instruction is triggered? When it is energized, we are getting a high. When it is de-energized, we are getting a low. So it goes from low to high and high to low, low to high and high to low. We are getting a pulse. That is why this instruction is called as one shot instruction. It is as good as generating one pulse, output pulse. Okay, one rectangular pulse. So is this clear, students? This one shot instruction here, this diagram is clear? PLC ladder logic program. Any difficulty here in this? Yes, please. Any difficulty in this? Everyone understood this one? This third program?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. The one shot is perfect for resetting both counters and timers. One shot instruction is used to reset both counters and timers because it remains on for only one program scan time. The off to on transitional contact instruction shown in the next figure is programmed to provide a one shot pulse when the reference trigger signal makes a off to on transition. Let us see the next figure. When we look into this figure, this is the first figure, figure A. When we look into this figure, this is the symbol of the one shot instruction, right? You all have to remember these waveforms and the main diagram which we explained in the previous slide. This is the symbol of the one shot instruction. So when this is signal, the input signal, the input triggering signal, the input event that is occurring, if it goes from off to on, the ladder rung goes from off to on, then it will check for the one scan time. The one shot instruction will become true as the rung is energized, and it will remain on for only one program scan time. It will remain on for only one program scan time. After that, it becomes off. After that, it becomes off. Fine, students. So it is going to remain high in the on state, this one shot instruction, for only one scan time of the program. What is meant by one program scan time? Reading the input, processing the input, providing the output. This is one program scan. your test question, right? Reading the input, processing the input based on the ladder logic program, and providing the output. This is one program scan cycle. So it remains on for only one program scan time. After that, it will automatically go off, even if the input signal is in the on state. The next figure that we are seeing here the input signal is going from on to off. That means this one-shot instruction, the second type of one-shot instruction, it is triggered for the on to off transition of the input. The first type is triggered for the off to on transition of the event, off to on transition of the rung. The second type of one-shot instruction is triggered for the on to off transition of the rung. As it goes from on to off, the one-shot instruction is excited, it is triggered, right? So as the one-shot instruction is triggered, right, it will become on, and it will remain on for only one program scan. After that, even if it is remaining in the off state, even if the signal is or the event is activated, the one-shot instruction is not going to remain in the on state. It will automatically go to off state. Fine. The off to on transitional contact is shown in the figure, and it is for off to on transition, the first figure. This contact will close for exactly one program scan whenever the trigger signal goes from off to on. The contact will allow logic continuity for one scan and then opens, even though the triggering signal may stay on. That means even if the input event, input signal, the rung, even if it is in the on state, the one-shot instruction will not remain in the on state. It remains on only for one scan time. The next figure, that is for on to off transitional contact, provides the same operation as the off to on transitional contact instruction, except that it allows logic continuity for a single scan whenever the trigger signal goes from on to off state. That is, they are explaining about the second diagram here, on to off transition, this one, figure B in this diagram. The next program is about the conveyor motor PLC program, which illustrates the application of an up counter with a programmed one-shot transitional contact instruction. They are using up counter combined with OSR. What is OSR? One-shot instruction. Okay, one-shot rising instruction or one-shot instruction is used along with the up counter. That is the next program. The counter counts the number of cases coming off the conveyor. How many cases are coming off the conveyor? That is counted by the counter, up counter. When the total number of cases become 50, the conveyor motor stops automatically. When the number of cases, these are the cases here, the boxes. When these boxes or the cases become 50, the motor will stop automatically. Let us analyze this program. So to write a program, what all we require, students? We require the inputs, then the ladder diagram according to the program or according to the problem that is being given to us, and then the output, whatever is being mentioned in the problem statement. So first let us write the inputs here. We require a stop switch to stop the application, then the start switch to start the application, proximity switch, a proximity switch. Whenever the box is sensed nearer the sensor, then what will happen? When the box is sensed near the sensor, yes, the proximity switch closes. When this proximity switch closes, I:1/3 is the address, instruction addressing. This we have studied in our module 2, instruction addressing, right? So instruction addressing is the addressing which is given to the various instructions. It is called as instruction addressing. I:1/3. So this is the instruction address. 1 means it is the slot number, 3 is the bit number in the image table file, input image table file. The proximity switch closes as this box nearest the sensor. So when the proximity switch closes, I:1/3, this becomes true. This becomes true because it is examine if closed. Then the OSR, that is one-shot instruction. One-shot instruction, this also becomes true now because the rung is energized. The rung is energized, one-shot instruction OSR becomes true. Okay. Then as the one-shot instruction is becoming true, here B3:0,0 is the that is address given to this one-shot reset instruction. Okay. Then here the up counter process starts. up counter process starts. This one shot instruction has just triggered. Okay, it has just triggered. Then the counting process will start. So this one shot instruction will remain on for what time? For up till one program scan time. Up till this entire program is scanned, right? It is going to remain in the high state, and then as it becomes low, then automatically the program will stop, or the accumulated value is reset to 0 after the OSR is deactivated. It is de-energized. The up counter starts. Up counter starts as the cases are moving or the boxes are moving. It will go on counting from 0 to 50 counts. That means how many boxes it has counted from 0 to 50? Yes, please. If the accumulated value goes from 0 to 50, preset value is 50. So it will go on incrementing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the up direction. It is up counter. It will go from 0 to 50. As it counts from 0 to 50, how many boxes it has counted? Yes, students. How many boxes it has counted? Anybody? How many boxes it has counted as it goes from 0 to 50? Anybody can tell the answer. Yes, please. How many boxes it has counted? 0 to 50 means how many boxes it has counted. As it counts one box, one box moves here, proximity switch will be on. It is going pressed. Then the set instruction is activated. Count will be 1. When the next box comes near, again proximity switch will close. Then it is activated. Examine if closed contact is activated. OSR switch is energized. That is one shot. Reset instruction is energized. Count up counter will count from 1 to 2. Then when the third box comes, again proximity switch is closed. Then it will energize the rung. Then counter up will go from 2 to 3. So like this, how many counts it has made? How many boxes it has counted from 0 to 50?
50 boxes.
50 boxes. Very good. 50 boxes it has counted. So as it counts 50 boxes, the done bit will become high. As the done bit becomes high here, let us go through the second rung now. Analyze the second rung. I:1/1. I:1/1, this is stop switch. It is normally closed, so it is already in the closed position. Then I:1/2. I:1/2, this is stop. We are start switch. We have pressed it, so this is also true. So this entire rung becomes true. The entire second rung becomes true, and O:2/0, that is motor is turned on. Motor is turned on. Okay, so as it starts counting, the motor is energized. Motor coil is energized or it is turned on. Fine. Then in the parallel branch here, we are using C5:0/DN bit. That is, this is examine if open instruction. C5:0/done. So this is examine if open. That means if the count has not reached 50, then this done bit is 0. Done bit is 0. Then this is energized. This is energized. And O:2/0, this is examine if closed. So when this motor coil is energized, so this is also energized. So this parallel branch will be energized. Parallel branch will be energized. Fine. We are using the coil at the output side and the contacts at the input side. Then later in the third rung, what is happening? C5:0/DN. C5:0/DN. That is, when this done bit becomes high, this becomes true. This contact becomes true. I:1/4. I:1/4. What is this I:1/4? It is reset, right? For resetting the count. So as we press this reset count here, the reset instruction is activated. It is having the same address as that of the up counter. The up counter address is C5:0. Reset instruction address is also same, C5:0. This is made purposely same so that whatever accumulated value is there in that up counter, that is made equal to 0. That is reset to 0. Okay. So the reset is making the accumulated value to 0. Right. So this is the third rung. This is the third rung. Okay. Then when this 5:0/done bit becomes high, again that reset instruction is also activated as the done bit becomes high automatically. If we want to manually reset the instruction, then we have to press this reset switch. Otherwise, C5:0/DN, when it is activated, the reset instruction is activated, and what will happen? the counter will reset its value to 0. Fine. Is this program clear, students? So what will happen here? If done bit, once it counts 50, done bit will go 0. Done bit will become 0. So when this done bit becomes 0, fine. So that is here it is C5 colon 0 / done bit. Here it is connected. It is becoming 0 now, right? It is becoming 0. So this motor coil is de-energized. It is examine if open is de-energized, and the motor will stop. This coil will be de-energized, and the motor is going to stop. If you want to stop it automatically, then we have to press the reset switch. It is C5 colon 0 / dn bit is here. So this bit C5 colon 0 / dn, it is becoming 0. Sorry, it is becoming after 50 operations. What will happen? Once it is reset, after 50 operations, this done bit is high. Yes, this done bit is high, and the reset coil is energized. So it is going to reset the count. Once this 5 colon 0 reset instruction is activated, then what is going to happen? Because of this reset instruction becoming activated, the count value is becoming 0. Right? Count value becomes 0. Done bit will become 0 now. So as the done bit becomes 0, so what will happen to the motor coil here? Done bit is 0. So this is examine if open. This is energized, but the this contact will be de-energized, because now the motor is in the contact will be de-energized, because we are pressing the reset switch. Here we are pressing the reset switch, so the motor is almost going to it is going to the off state because of the pressing of the reset switch. Either the pressing of the reset switch may be manually done, or it may be done automatically. Okay. Is it clear here, students? This program? Understood this program? Any difficulty here in this program? Students? Okay. Shall we move to the next program?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. One shot rising instruction. This is a limit switch. Limit switch. That means when the current reaches a particular limit, then only it will close. So let us say the current has reached its particular level, the limit switch will close. It will close. So as it closes here, the contact, this will become true. LS1 becomes true. Right? And the OSR instruction, one shot rising instruction, it is called, this will become true. This will become true, and the reset coil is energized. The reset coil is energized. As the reset coil is energized, it is going to reset the value, or this reset instruction is going to remain high for only one program scan time. That is, look into the timing diagram. This is LS1. This is LS1. That is, we are pressing the switch, limit switch. So it is becoming from low to high. It is going from low to high. Okay. So as it goes from low to high here, this LS1 contact is examined if closed is true. So this rung becomes true. OSR rung, this becomes true. Reset rising instruction, one shot rising instruction or reset instruction becomes true, and this is going to remain high for only one PLC scan time. Even though the limit switch is in closed position, even though event is triggered, it is activated, this OSR instruction, it is only for one scan time, remember. After one scan time, again it goes from from high to low. Okay, that is clear from this timing diagram, right? Is it clear here, students? This one? Any difficulty in this? If you are having any questions, you all can ask. Is it understood here? Is it
Yes, sir.
clear here, student? Okay, fine. This is an interesting program. OSR instruction used to freeze rapidly displayed LED values. That means the one shot rising instruction is used to freeze the whatever is the present accumulated value. Present accumulated value that is freezed and that is converted from decimal to binary value, and it is displayed on the LED display. Is displayed on the LED display. Let us see how it is done. This is the push button switch. Push button switch. We are pressing this push button switch. Okay. So as the push button switch is pressed, what will happen here? When this push button is pressed, I:1/0, this is activated. Yes. So as this exam if closed becomes true, the OSR will become true because it goes from low to high. The output of this exam if closed. As it is going from low to high, the OSR instruction, one shot rising instruction, becomes true. When this becomes true, the I:1/1, when we are pressing this switch, then here the timer on delay will start. The timer on delay will start because of closing of the switch I:1/1. As the timer starts to time, it starts to timing, then it goes from 0 to 1000, in between value. Suppose say we want a value of 5. Okay, we want to display the value 5 on the LED display. Here on the 7 segmental display or the LED display, we want to display the value of 5. That means the count is now 5. Accumulated value, it is 5 now. Accumulated value. What is done is, here the timer on, whatever is the accumulated value, that will be stored in this BCD. Both the BCD, that is decimal to BCD converter, this up, whatever you are seeing, the upper block, and the timer on delay, whatever you are seeing in the lower block, both are given the same address. That means whatever is the accumulated value in this timer on, the same accumulated value will get in this, that is decimal to BCD converter. Now how we will get that is because they are given the same address. They are stored in the same address, same memory location. Okay. Let us say the count is 5 now. It has counted 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is 5. The timer on delay, it is 5. So as it is 5 here, because it is 5, now I want the value 5 to be displayed on the LED display. Now what I will do, I will press the push button. I will press this push button. As I press this push button, this is energized. Exam if closed. The on one shot rising instruction is energized. Now this decimal to BCD converter, it will convert from decimal value to binary value. The meaning of decimal to binary is, suppose say if the value is 1, right? If the value is say 2, so it is written as 08421 010. The binary value of decimal value 2 is 010. So this is how we are converting from the decimal value to the binary value. Okay, suppose the say decimal value is 5, then in binary it is written as 101. Okay, so we are converting from decimal to binary. Okay, decimal to binary. So now if you want to convert from decimal to binary, right, that is you have to divide by 2. Suppose say if it is 5, okay, if you divide by 2, right, say it is 5. First time when you divide by 5 by 2, what you will get? 2 2s are 4, 1 is the remainder. You have to take the remainders, right? Second time quotient will be 2. 2 2s are 4 you are getting. Quotient will be 2, remainder is 1. 2 1s are 2, then what is remaining? Remainder is 0. Okay, next time quotient is 1. So 2 zeros are 0, then remainder is 1. So what is the final value we are getting? 101. This is how we are converting from decimal to binary value. Suppose say I will give one more example. Suppose say it is say 7, right? 7. So if you are converting 7, right? 2 3s are 6, 1 is the remainder, then 3 is the quotient, 2 1s are 2, 3 minus 2, 1 is the remainder, 2 zeros are 0, then 1 minus 0, 1 is the remainder. So you have to take from the reverse direction whatever remainders you are getting. You take in the reverse direction 1 1 1. It is a binary equivalent of the decimal value 7. Clear here? You have to take in the reverse order. Whatever remainders you are getting from first to last, you have to take in the reverse order. That
Sir,
will
in
give us.
the calculator
Yes.
also you can do it,
Yes,
binary
sure.
decimal.
Just I am telling you the process how it is getting converted from decimal to binary. In the calculator also you can do. You can keep it in the mode. I think you have done it in your digital electronics, in your basic electronics subject, in your first year level. You have to keep in the mode and select first decimal mode in your calc, right? Decimal mode, DEC. Then say enter 7. Then shift binary. Press shift and then press BIN, binary. That will give you the binary equivalent of the decimal value 7. Similarly for any other numbers, decimal numbers. Okay. Now when this is activated, when we are pressing this push button, then here this, because of this pressing of the push button, this is activated, this is energized, this one shot rising instruction is energized, and whatever is the accumulated value here, we are converting 5 decimal value 5 to binary. So the same accumulated value will be in this decimal to binary converter, which will convert from decimal to binary value, that is 5 is converted to 101. 5 is converted to 101, and then this 5 is displayed on this 5 as this 5th LED will be turned on, 5th output LED, and it will display it as 0101 0101. That is the binary value of the decimal number 5, binary value of the decimal number 5. Clear here? Like this, it is going to freeze the value whatever we want to display on the LED display. This freezing process is activated by this OSR instruction and this decimal to binary converter and the on time timer delay instruction. All these three together will make possible freezing of the value and storing that freezed value on the, or displaying that freezed value on the LED display. Clear here, students? This program is understood? Is this program clear here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next, we'll see one more program here, alarm monitor program. Okay. Though the, ladder logic program looks a little bit big, the process is very simple. Let us try to analyze here. This is the float type of sensor, FS float type of sensor. This is the float level sensor here, which is connected. It will sense the height of the liquid in the tank, height of the liquid in the tank. As the height of the liquid in the tank reaches the limit, just like the overhead tanks that is used in our houses, the overhead tank, once it reaches the level, the ball valve will be activated, and because of which the valve will close, and then the motor is stopped pumping into the overhead tank. Correct? So same process here. It reaches a certain level. When it reaches the predefined level, the limit, the sensor is activated, float switch is activated. So when this float switch is activated here, this is a float switch. So because of the activation of this float switch, what is going to happen? This FS, this is becoming true. This is becoming true. Examine if closed, and the count up process will start. Count up process, up counter will start. It will count from 0 to 1. Accumulated value is 0, preset value is 1 only. So it goes from 0 to 1, and the done bit will be activated. As this done bit is activated, so C5:1 done bit is here. So this is activated. Now at the same time, what is happening here? This T4:6, this is not yet activated still. So done bit is 0. Okay, done bit is 0. This done bit is 0. Examine if open, this will become true. When this becomes true, the timer on delay, this will be activated, and it will enabled. It is enabled. It will go from 0 to 1. Once the accumulated value becomes equal to preset time, dn bit will be equal to 1. As dn bit of T4:5 is becoming 1, it is connected. Output of this is connected to input of the next timer. T4:5 done bit is 1, so this is energized. So this timer is also energized. This timer is energized, second timer, and then we are getting the done bit of that second timer also high when it goes from 0 to 1. Accumulated value becoming equal to preset value. Now let us analyze the fourth rung. This is first rung, second, third, and this is the fourth rung. C5:1/done. That is C5:1 is this counter. This done bit is already high because it has counted from 0 to 1. The limit switch has closed. Then T4:5/done. This has become 1. T4:5/done bit. That means this rung is true. As this rung is true, the light is turned on. That means the alarm will glow. the alarm will blow, indicating that the float is up to the maximum level and it need not pump the liquid into the tank. It's an alarming condition. That's why the light will glow and it will blow out the alarm, blow the horn or the alarm. Okay. Then because of this light turning on, then the next time what will happen? C5:1. This is examine if open instruction. Examine if open instruction. C5:1 done bit. That is this. So if it is C5:1 done bit, it is open state. If this 5:1 it is still counting, right? If it has not reached the preset value, it is 0. Then this float sensor, suppose say if it has not reached a particular level, it is 0. So this rung becomes false. This entire rung becomes false, and the light will be turned off. Okay, the light turning off indicates that the tank is yet to be filled and it has not reached the limit. Once it reaches the limit, then only this float sensor will be turned on, or it is switched, it is pressed. Then the last rung, this is SS. Examine SS is this that is a selector switch. That is, if it is turned to on position from off position, this is closed. Examine if closed is true, and this reset coil is energized. Reset coil is energized. C5:1 reset coil is energized. So as this reset coil is energized, then whatever value, accumulated value in the timers was there or in the counters was there, that will automatically become equal to 0. In the counter C5:1, whatever is the accumulated value, that is reset to 0. Okay. So this is a program to indicate the alarm turning on once the liquid level in the tank reaches the set point level or it reaches the required limit. Is this program understood here to everyone? Any doubts in this program? Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Let us move ahead. Next is down counter. Up till now we have studied the programs on up counter. What is up counter? Meaning of up counter, right? And then few programs on up counter. Next is the down counter. It is just opposite to that of the up counter. Up counter will count in the upward direction from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 like this up till 10. Whereas the down counter will count in the downward direction. Say from 10, if the starting value is 10, then 10, 9, 8, 7 like this up till 0. This is the difference between up counter and the down counter. The name itself will tell us. Up counter means it is up counting process. Down means it is counting in the reverse direction or the downward direction. This down counter is used always along with the up counter to form an up down counter. Down counter is usually not used alone. It is used always with the up counter so as to form an up down counter. That means it counts in the up direction and also in the downward direction. It is both. Okay, that forms what is called as the up down counter. The next figure shows the program and timing diagram for a generic block formatted up down counter. Let us see the program. The operation of the program is as follows. This is a generic up down counter program. In this program, as we can see, the accumulated value is 0 first at the beginning. We are pressing this PB1 switch. PB1 switch is pressed. When it is pressed, this is closed. Examine if closed, it will start to count in the upward direction. Let us say the preset value is the accumulated value is going from 0 to 6. 0 to 6, right? So it has gone from 0 to 6. So as it is more than the preset value, the light will be turned on. When the accumulated value is beyond or equal to the preset value, the light will be turned on. The lamp will glow here. The lamp will glow. Next, say, let us say we want to count in the downward direction. Now we have counted in the upward direction from 0 to 6. Now if we want to count in the downward direction, I want to come down by 4 counts. So what I will do, I will apply 4 pulses here, 4 pushes. I will press the switch, PB2 switch 4 times. When I press the PB1 switch 6 times, it has counted from 0 to 6, the number of counts, right? When I press PB2 switch 4 times, it will count in the downward direction now, because now countdown is activated, PB2. Countdown is activated means it is counting in the downward direction. When I press the switch 4 times and it will count in the downward direction, what is the final value? Starting value is 6 now. I have counted downwards by 4 values. What is the last value I am getting now? See, I have pressed 6 times and I am getting the value 6. Okay, that is the accumulator value right now. Accumulated value, it is beyond the preset value. Suppose if I am activating the down counter, I have pressed the PB2 switch 4 times. It has to count down by 4 values. 6 minus 4. What is the last value? Yes, please.
2.
2 is the value. 6 minus 4. It has counted down by 4. 6 minus 4 is 2. So final value will be 2 here. It is counting in the upward direction as well as in the downward direction. If the count value is more or equal to the preset value, then the light will glow. Now when the count reaches 2, when I activated the down counter, that time this light will be turned off. This light will be turned off. Then PB3 is a reset switch. As I press this PB3 reset switch, then if I want to make the accumulated value 0, I can make the accumulator value 0 by pressing this PB3 switch, reset switch. Okay. I hope this is clear to everyone. This generic program, it is called a generic program because it's a generalized program for any up-down counting process. It's a basic block. That is why it is called as generic up-down counter program. Okay. Any difficulty here, students, in this program?
No, sir.
Okay. The same is illustrated in the form of timing diagram. This generic up-down counter program. This is for the count up. It is going from 1 to 6, up counting 0 to 6 or 1 to 6. Then down counter, I have pressed the PB2 switch 4 times. It will count in the downward direction by 4 counts. That is, it counts for 4 pulses or 4 counts. And the accumulated value is initially 6, from 0 to 6 when I pressed the PB1 switch. When I pressed this PB1 switch 6 times, it has gone from 0 to 6. Okay. Then I am pressing the PB2 switch 4 times. So 6 minus 4. Initially the count is accumulated from 0 to 6. Then 6 minus 4, it will count from 0 to 6 to 2. So the final value is 2 now. After we are applying how many pulses? 6 plus 4, 10 pulses. Correct? The output is going from off to on state. Output is going from off to on state. Right? And as it goes from off to on state, at the second pulse here, it is getting off. It is output is in on state, that is the output LED is glowing, it is light is turning on, lamp is on when the accumulator value is 3 or more than 3. When it is 6, right, 3 or more than 3, it is on state. When it becomes 2, the lamp will turn off or the light will turn off. If we are pressing reset switch, then anytime, then the accumulated value will become 0 automatically. Okay. This is one more interesting program that is on a parking garage counter. Parking garage counter. Here it is counting the number of vehicles or the cars being moved in and out of the garage space. How many vehicles or how many cars have moved in and have moved out from the garage space? That is counted by this parking garage counter. Okay. So let us say that we are pressing this enter switch, right? The car is entering the garage area, enter switch is pressed. As one car enters that area, so it is counting up. This is examine if close is true, the rung becomes true, up counter is enabled. CU, up counter enable bit is 1, so it starts to count up. So it counts from 0 to 1 like that. So every time the car is getting in, a new car is coming in, it counts up. The count will go upward. Then suppose say the count accumulated value is 4. Accumulated value is 4. Say 4 cars have moved in, and suppose say one car is moving out. Yes, one car is moving out. Now the accumulated value is same in both up counter and down counter. They will be giving the same address to both up counter and down counter. C5:1, C5:1. Same address will be given to both up counter and the down counter. As the same address is given, the accumulated value will be same in both up counter and the down counter. Here also it will be 4 in up counter, in down counter also it will be 4. So Now it is 4. So let us say one car moves out. It exits from the garage space. The count will go from 4 to 3. 4 minus 1, 3. Yes. So it will become 3 in both. Up counter also the accumulated value is 3. In down counter also accumulated value is 3. Right. So like this, how many counts it will count? How many vehicles it will count? Maximum 150. Maximum 150 because the preset value is 150. Once the value 150 is reached, the done bit will become high in both. So when the done bit becomes high, C5:1 done bit becoming high, it is turning on this coil. It is energized, which indicates the lot is full. The garage is full. It is having 150 cars. Right? It has counted the number of cars that is effectively moving in and out, and which are within the garage space. They are totally 150 cars or 150 vehicles. So when it is 150 vehicles or the cars, this lamp will glow. The lot full light, this lamp will glow. Okay. Suppose in between, if you want to reset the value, you have to press this reset switch. As we press the reset switch, the reset coil is energized, C5:1, and whatever count value is there in the up counter or the down counter, that is reset to 0. Okay, that will become 0. That means we can reset the value in the accumulator to 0 by pressing this reset switch. Okay. Is it clear, this program, students? Any difficulty here in this program?
No,
Any difficulty? Any questions? Is it understood? Am I audible, students? Is it understood?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Fine. This is the block which shows the down counter, block of the down counter. C5:0, this is down counter. Accumulated value is 0, preset value they have taken 10 here. You can take any value. Need not be only you have to take 10. You can take any value. You can take 5, 15, 20, whatever value you want, you can take that preset value. Then this is the done bit, C5:0/CD, counter enable bit, counter enable, that is CD, counter enable bit for the down counter. Then C5:0/done bit. Once the down counting process completes, then the done bit is enabled, it is activated. Down counter done bit is high. Then C5:0/underflow status bit. Here there are two types of overflow conditions. One is called as a overflow, which is, say, it counts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this. Say the maximum count is 55. I told this one in one of the classes. Maximum count is 55. It counts from 0 to 55. After 55, it resets back to 0, and again it will start counting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is called as overflow condition. There is one more condition called as underflow condition. Underflow condition is just the opposite to that of the overflow condition. It counts from, say, 55, 54, 53, 52 like this up till 0. After 0, it will come back to 55, and again it will start to count from 55, 54, 53 up till 0. This is called as underflow. Overflow condition is just like the overflow condition of your overhead tank. Right? When the tank overflows, the water will come down to the ground level. Correct? So this is called as overflow condition. Underflow condition means it is just a reverse process of the overflow condition. Then reset here instruction. The reset instruction resets the counter's accumulated value to 0. This is a separate instruction, has to be used for making the accumulated value in the down counter to reset to 0. Okay. This is the up down counter program. Again, it's though the diagram looks big, it's a simple process. Let us analyze here. Here we are pressing this PB1 switch for the up counter. Okay, for up counting process, input A is energized, because of which the up counter process will start. It will commence. Then it starts to count in the upward direction, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this. And down counter, whatever value is there, it is given the same address as that of the up counter. When we press the PB2 switch, input B is energized, and it will count down based on the number of presses that we are going to make on the push button switches. Then it will count in the downward direction. Suppose say the accumulated value in up counter is, say, 7. The value in the down counter is also 7. Okay, suppose we have activated down counter. If you have pressed PB to switch 3 times, 7 minus 3, 4 will be the accumulated value in both up counter and the down counter. Okay, like this, the accumulated value will remain the same. Okay, then once the accumulated value reaches the preset value in both the up counter and down counter, the done bit will become high. So when C5 colon 2 up counter CU bit is becoming high, the output A is energized and it is turning on this A. Okay, this motor coil A will be energized. Okay, then C5 colon 2, this countdown, it is for the CD, that is countdown counter. When this C5 colon to CD bit, that is, this is CD bit, this is enabled. When the down counting process starts, this is actually CD. Here there is a mistake. C, it is not C, it is CD here because it's a down counter. So just make a correction, please. So then CD bit is here. This output B is energized. So this motor B will start when this rung is becoming true, and when this rung here C5 colon 2 done bit, C5 colon 2 done bit, when both the up counter and the down counter value, that is accumulated value, reaches the preset value, done bit will be high, and then output C will be energized. This is energized because of which the motor C is turning on. And if we want to reset, we have to press this reset switch. This is true and the reset coil is energized. C5 colon 2 is for the up counter and down counter. Whatever accumulated value was there in the up counter or down counter, that is reset to 0, or that will become equal to 0. Okay. So is this clear here? Up down counter program? Any problem in understanding here?
Sir, clear.
Okay. Yes. This is a program wherein the effective number of items or the parts, right, which are fed into the processing system and which are moving out of the processing system, that are counted. Effective number of parts, that means how many parts are moving into the feeder, right, and how many parts after being processed are moving out of the feeding system. Okay, that is being counted. That is this particular diagram which shows here. And to count the incoming parts, we are using a photoelectric sensor to count the incoming parts. Then these incoming parts are being processed by the material processing system, and they will move out of the material processing system. Then whatever parts or the items are coming out of the material processing system, that are being counted here by this photoelectric sensor which is connected at the output. Okay, so these are the raw parts which are moving into the feeding system or into the material processing system. They are processed by this processing system, and the parts that are coming out of this feeder, they are the finished parts. They are the finished parts. So let us count these parts with the help of a PLC ladder logic program. Let us write the ladder logic program. This is the in feed count. As the part moves nearer to this photoelectric sensor, this limit switch will be closed based on the that is a current that is produced in this photoelectric sensor. If it reaches the limit, this limit switch will be closed. In feed count, this is becoming true, and this count up counter will start to count. Count up counter will start to count. It will start from 0 like this up till it goes up till 50, right? Then whatever value is there here in up counter, the same value will be stored in the down counter also. Accumulator value in both up counter and down counter is same. Now let us say we want to count, we are counting the out feed counter, how many are moving out, right? So this switch will be activated, and this examine if closed is becoming true. Say the 4 items it has counted in the up direction, that is incoming parts, and say 3 items are moved out of the processing system, that is the output finished parts. Then 4 minus 3, effectively it is initially 4, then that is 4 here in this, and the down counting also it will count 4 minus, suppose say 3, then it will come to 1. So effectively how many items are moving in and out, that are being counted, and then if the count value reaches 50, they are taken the default value here. It need not be 50, you can take any value here. So as it reaches 50 here, it has counted effectively how many items are moving in and out effectively, right? And then Because of this, once the count value in both accumulated value in both up counter and down counter reaches 50, the done bit will be activated. Done bit will be activated. As the done bit is activated, then the count value is reset to 0 by the reset instruction, and it will start from beginning. The next round of operation of the counting Is this clear here, students, this diagram and this PLC ladder logic program?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Anything not understood in this? Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay. So in today's class, students, we have gone through programs on PLC ladder logic program. We have started our today's discussion with the counter commands: count up, count down, and high speed counters. There are 3 types of counters, right? And then the program for counting 10 operations of the up counter. After it counts for 10 operations up counter, the motor will stop. This is a PLC ladder logic program. Then PLC can counting program. This is a PLC can counting program here to count the number of cans that are moving on the conveyor belt using up counters, right? And it will count the number of cans, the number of packages also, how many packages, maximum it can count up till 300 packages. And total number of cans, how many? 32,767 is the maximum that is considered for Allen Bradley, that is Allen Bradley PLCs. Okay, maximum value 32,767 is the maximum value of the counter. Then what is one shot instruction? It is generating a one shot pulse. When it is energized, it is going to turn on for one program scan time. That is, we have analyzed this program here, one shot instruction. Then the one shot instruction of 2 types. One instruction is it is going from off to on state, it is energized. Then another instruction, when the input event or the rung goes from on to off state, it is energized. This is the second type of one shot instruction. Then next program is one shot instruction counting cases, how many cases or the boxes have been moved on the conveyor belt, that is being counted, and we have written a program for that. One shot rising instruction, OSR instruction, it's ladder logic program, right? OSR instruction used to freeze rapidly displayed LED values. How many, that is, if you want to freeze, if you want to fix to a particular value and display that particular decimal value on the LED display, that decimal value is converted to binary value and displayed on the LED display. That is what we call as freezing. The OSR instruction used along with the on delay timer to freeze the value on the LED display. Alarm monitor program. This is the alarm monitor program to turn on the light or the alarm when the level in the tank reaches a particular limit, when it reaches a particular height. Down counter. What is a down counter, right? Then a generic up down counter program. Generic up down counter program. This is a generalized program for any up down counter. It counts both in the up direction and the down direction. And we have to remember one point, that down counter is not usually used alone. It is always used along with the up counter to form an up down counting operation. Then the timing diagram for this generic up down counter. In the examination, they may ask, explain or write a generic up down counter program and explain with its timing diagram. That is how the question may appear in the examination. It may be asked for around 6 marks question. For drawing the ladder logic program, it may carry around 3 marks, and for timing diagram 2 marks, and explanation about this 1 or 2 marks. So it may carry around 6 to 7 marks in examination. parking garage counter. This is the ladder logic program for checking how many vehicles have moved inside and moved outside of the garage. Countdown counter instruction. This is the basic block of the countdown counter instruction. Up down counter program. Whatever we have explained here in this generic block diagram, that is the same concept of the up down counter, using the up counter and the down counter, and the motor turning on for every done bit being turned on or turned high after the counting operation is completed. So this is the ladder logic program for the number of parts moved in and moved out on the conveyor belt, and which are measured by the photoelectric sensor. This is measuring how many parts are moved in and how many parts are moved out. Effectively, how many parts are being processed, that is being analyzed by this system, and that for that we have written a program. So that's all here, students. If you are having any questions, you all can ask. Any doubts, any questions here? Students, any questions here?
No, sir.
Any problem in understanding? Understood today's programs?
Yes, sir.
Right? Any difficulty, Praveen, in programming part? PLC ladder program, any difficulty?
No, sir.
Okay. Nemani Patil, any difficulty?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Inoj, any questions, Inoj? Any problem in understanding?
No,
Inoj, is it clear, everything, whatever discussed in today's class?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, students, then in the next class, I will be, probably I may complete that first half of module 3, right? And that some more portion is remaining in that, that is cascading of counters, and some more portion is remaining, that is encoder counter application, cascading of counters, and so those portion will take up in the next class. Thank you.